Okay. All right, guys. Well, today's Susanism is that I cannot switch from top chat to live chat on my dashboard here. What a huge surprise. Let me. I might go blank for a second. Let me reload the page. And still doesn't work. Jesus Christ, YouTube. On my I have the I can go to live chat. Oh, I'm not getting any chat in my YouTube. Yep. Dashboard here. So let me look over here. It's Calaman and Dome Wolverine and Oink and Marty and Curtis, Hydra, Rowan's and hey Rowan. No one's here. Yoki Yuji. Oh, Puppy, my favorite Ginger Dementia Master 2. Daniel. Hey, Morgan. Stormstar, as I said, for anybody just coming in, I'm seeing if I can correct this somehow. I've got the YouTube dashboard is, and that's where I typically watch you guys' chat. It displays better there than it does in Streamlabs. It's not showing any chat. Won't let me make any changes. Or I'm going to try. Hold on, I got one other idea I can try here, so I can get a good view of you guys' chat. I'll be right with you guys. Just let me see if I can get this to work up here. All right, let's see if it'll work if I go this route. No kidding. Okay, yes, that works. Just the YouTube dashboard that is created specifically to make things easier for us, it doesn't work. We're all so surprised. Did I even turn these headphones on? No, I did not. That'll help. Let's see. DBZ got a lot of hate in that Patreon poll. I don't think it was really hate, Young JT. I think it was just a lot of people don't want to make that big of a commitment to a series that long right now. I think that's more what it is than anything else. I think there's too many other things they want to see, considering that I've seen a lot of the highlights of Dragon Ball Z. And also there are probably some shorter shows I would rather work in first. I'm sure we'll get to it at some point. Marty says, hey, Curtis, I've been wondering, would you say you really enjoyed your professional wrestling time? Oh, yes, I would say that. I'm currently going to training and I'm having a wonderful time. Would you say it's a fun lifestyle? I loved every second of it. Is it a fun lifestyle? It depends on your perspective. Your body will hurt all the time. And if you want to go to the next level in it, you will have next to nothing of a home life. But if that's what you really want to do, just like anything else, the sacrifices will be worth it. But yeah, all the sports I played, and I played pretty much everything growing up, there's nothing that pummels your body like wrestling. Yeah, Arthur says, YouTube doesn't care about the users? Gasp. I know they're so usually so considerate and thoughtful about all of us and how this will be a better experience for us all. When I start saying that, I want to throw up. I have to stop. Mr. Croissant says, took my driver's test, failed for the third time. Oh, crap. But I failed because the instructor I had twice said I was overly speeding when I was going 27 and a 25. Yeah, I know the we call them brownies, but the people that give the driver's tests here in New York, because I've had to take people for both their regular driving tests as well as the CDLs, the truck driving tests, and it all depends on who you get, how much of a jerk they are. From Plattsburgh, Tajon? That's cool. Just up north of me. I like visiting Plattsburgh. I was going to say, there's, as you guys know, any of you who saw the video I made the other day, there's nothing about New York I like, not as far as living, but as far as places to visit, yeah, Plattsburgh's awesome. Code says, man, being a team leader is hard. The goose you'll give us today will give me extra energy. Absolutely. Oh, there's nothing like a little shot of goosh energy to Well, to make your life different. Well, I'll let you guys determine how so. M says, I'm disappointed that Patreon apparently doesn't want to watch more DBZ. That's one of the series I joined for. If you do it a couple other times, it's going to take forever to finish it. You know what I think I'll do, Em? And I'll post because I've been thinking about this since. I'll post a notification about it. Since they didn't want to do it now on a daily, and it's not particularly popular here at the YouTube channel, I think I'm just going to put it aside here, and then I will look for a spot for it at the Goosh at an appropriate time. But yeah, because we definitely got to see it. I definitely want to go all the way through it. And we'll just pick up from where we are right now, too. Next post, Uncle Curtis Morgan says, Goosh, going to Lansing tomorrow. They've got one of the best anime stores in Michigan. Oh, really? Hunting for MHA merch and stopping to get authentic ramen. It's a weeb's dream. There you go. My Hero Academia merchandise and real ramen. That's right. That's right. Weeb wet dream time. Good. You have to let us know what you get, Morgan. What you pick up. Arthur says, I need a cosigner to save my home. They are insisting on selling it immediately, and I haven't get at my new higher paying job for 6 months yet. Oh shit, Arthur. I hope that works out for you. I hope that I know Arthur's been struggling for a while to figure out a method to hold on to his childhood home. Mistress says, hey Curtis, how are you? I've been playing Elden Ring. It's 7th on my top 10 all-time games list. Amazing game. If I could, and it won't be for a while, when I get the time to actually get the play some games, and if I do, again, it'd have to be over the gaming channel now because the way YouTube's doing things here. I do want to play that. You guys have been talking about it so much that I'm really anxious to see it. M says, I think the problem I have is they think you watching clips in DBZA means you've seen enough of it. Yeah, I did get a lot of that vibe. And those don't even give you the full context, and you haven't seen the best arcs. I agree. That's why I wanted to, watch it in totality. Because same can be said for the OG. Because I had seen a lot of clips of that. But then when I got to watch it in its entirety, it was a completely different experience. Yeah, Mister, I would like to play it just based on you guys' talking it up so much. It just sounds fun. Arthur says next post, and right behind him, Poppy says last post. All right, we're gonna go both ways here. Let's see if I can scroll up and down at the same time. We'll do Poppy first. Where'd you go, Poppy? Oh, Poppy, there you are. My music lesson got canceled as my teacher is getting her COVID booster. Fun fact about my teacher: she was one of the first ever female air traffic controllers. Really, that's cool. That's cool. Childhood friend of mine, close friends of ours. He's retired now. He was a traffic controller for, I think he did it for like 20 years. They get a great retirement and deserve it. I guess you don't get much of a higher stress job than that. And Arthur says, I would have waited to apply to the new job if I knew you had to be at a job for 6 months to get a loan. It's sometimes I don't understand the processes we go through, Arthur, because you're right. To me, fuck off, train. It shouldn't matter how long you've been at a specific job. To me, because what they're looking for is consistency, it should matter how long you've been continuously employed. So if you moved up to a better job, you took a better offer, and it's been a recent amount of time, that should, by logic, that should be a point in your favor, not something to knock you out of contention. There's a lot of stuff when it comes to banking that's just really bizarre. Josh says, I waited to watch porn to come here. I can watch porn any day, but FFAF only happens once a week. Good point. Solid point. I grant you there's nothing we have here that can rival the quality of content of porn. But you're right. It's like, hey, slum it here for a little while, and then the porn will be waiting for you. Damien says, hey, Curtis, I had to turn off Survivor so I can come watch you. How dare you stream while I watch? We my wife and I used to watch the early seasons of Survivor. We haven't watched it in several years now. Poppy says she's a very interesting person. She's been in the Navy, lived and studied in Thailand, can speak 3 languages, and has top levels in both singing and piano. Jesus Christ. It always amazes me, people that are multilingual. I'm barely floating it with English. Arthur says, why not watch both at the same time, split screen? Can you imagine, though, trying to really properly get into your porn with this also going on? Ooh. Yeah. Rowan says, so yeah, I finally joined the Patreon a couple months ago, and I'm watching your Clannad reactions. Oh, that was good. I got so hooked up that I finished all of them in a couple of days. Next is AOT Season 4. Oh, Rowan, that's so good. And we're just about, Rowan, just about to start on the second half of Season 4 and the upcoming videos. So yeah, you'll time it probably just about right. You'll catch up with the early part of Season 4 that I already did, because they split that in half, of course, right as we're getting into it in the day-to-day. Nolan very disturbingly says, this is my porn. Big Green says, yeah, that's the one thing about porn. You can pause it. You can't pause FFAF. Can't really pause your boner, but what can you do? Also, hello. You guys can pause FFAF. You just hit the right buttons, and I just do one of these things. Caught in a loop. It would be like a pause. M says, I'm finally catching up on your One Piece reactions. I'm so behind, but I finally made it to Punk Hazard. Oh, I love that show. I mean, I'm not alone, but god damn, what a phenomenal show. It really is. This one the show too was really good. Surprisingly great Toradora. I really enjoyed that one too. Really cute story. I like the little palm top tiger. Arthur says, I was watching some ugly bald man react to Gintama. Oh, I think I know that guy you're talking about. I don't like him, Arthur. He seems like a douche. Seems like somebody I'd really like to punch in the face. Is it? Morgan says, yes, Toradora, one of my top 5 anime, to be honest. I thought it was a great story. Right when it started, I thought, okay, this is cute. But that's how it ended up on a t-shirt, because it's like, this is really, really good. That was a sweet story. You know what's another anime? And, well, I think with a lot of things you watch or experience, sometimes time away makes them grow even fonder to you. But has really done that for me is Angel Beats. Angel Beats was so good. And I am so glad that you guys were there to make sure that I saw in the last episode of Angel Beats that final scene that comes in way at the end of the credits, because that was so cool. And now people that I've talked to since, on the rare occasions, in my day-to-day life, I'm able to run into other anime fans. A lot of people I've talked to since didn't know that scene existed. I've shown it to a bunch of people now. That was good. Mister says, Arlong is Curtis' best friend forever. Fuck that guy. And I know, I readily admit that, because we talk about, hated villains in there. And there are guys who have done much more dastardly things. There are guys who have done dastardly things with less impetus, justification than Arlong, but it doesn't matter. It was just the way that all took place for me. It was just so unsavory and so despicable. I just want nothing but death and harm for him. Morgan says, speaking of anime t-shirts, I need to get an Aizawa shirt when I meet Chris Westcamp. He'd probably get a kick out of it. Probably would. Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh yeah, there's got to be Aizawa shirts out there. Arthur says, I want to see your reaction to One Piece 1015. I've seen that number bandied about a lot, Arthur. That episode 1015. I mean, you guys are always good to me, about not giving any spoilers. But I see that number talked about. Well, episode 1015 was trending on Twitter for a long time. And those I would stay right away from whenever there's anything trending about One Piece. M says, Curtis the Weeb. Fair. M says, let's be honest, Horty is worse than Arlong at the very least. Yeah. Let's say I even though Arlong is my most hated, like I say, that's due to circumstance, because there are characters who have done worse things, or as bad of things at the very least, and as I said, with less rationale for doing them. But I just, oh, 1015 is the anime adaptation of Chapter 1000. I didn't know that, Arthur. I just know everybody was running. That number pops up all the time. 1015. Hey, Tyler. Samuel says, joke time. Here's one for you. My friend David lost his ID. Now he's just Dab. That's actually pretty good. I like that one. I like bad puns. Ian says, everyone vote Fairy Tale next poll, please. Yeah, Ian was just private messaging me on Patreon over at the Goosh about, he was asking if I thought that I'd be watching Fairy Tale anytime soon. I was explaining to him how we do things over there. It's all with nominations and polls. And I said Fairy Tale has come in a close second twice in a row, so gotta like its chances. M says, it's just funny that you hate Arlong so much. It's got to be very rare to find someone who dislikes him more than anyone in the series. Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah, like I say, I fully recognize that there are characters out there that if you look at their resumes are certainly worse than Arlong. It's just the way that scene hit me. When something's, to me, it's similar. It hit me with an impact of the nature that Shao Tucker did. It made that much of had that much of an influence and an impact on me. Dimension Master says, I will always vote for something else. A Fairy Tale isn't a poll. It's funny. A Fairy Tale, I think, for being, one of the quote unquote big series, the ones that have crossed the pond and made it big here in the West and everything. Excuse me. I do think Fairy Tale seems to have a strong, solid fan base, but also probably the most detractors as far as, what I've seen of any of them. There, for whatever reason, because obviously I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but for whatever reason, there's a lot of people that just do not care for that one. Doflamingo's a great villain, Em. He really is. He's an excellent villain. Best One Piece villain tournament? We could probably do that at some point, Arthur. After we finish, we got a long way to go, because we got to finish this first round, the first 32 in Naruto. Then we got to do the second 32, then have the two winners face off. And then I want to do the same thing with Dragon Ball. But once we get done with all that, we could do something like that. My favorite OP villain code says is Foxy. Who's a really good villain? And something we're watching right now is in Demon Slayer. I have to admit, as much as I hate him, obviously, that I always forget his actual name. The nickname I gave him was Mr. Low Self-Esteem there. That demon. He's a good villain. His voicing is fucking masterful. And his design is great. Everything about him, is just a top shelf villain. Can wait for him to get his head cut off. And because I watch a few days ahead, and that's why I made the video to tell you guys I'll be getting ahead whenever I can. So when we move, I don't, everything flows smoothly. So I'm a few episodes ahead. And actually, I've got one more episode left to finish the season in Demon Slayer. So right now I'm right on a cliff, because they just cut off both heads, the brother and the sister. The heads end up looking at each other, and then he explodes, so I don't know what damage was done. Is Kabuto still your number one hated character? In Naruto, no. Dwayne, I'll always hate him for his smugness and his obnoxiousness, but because of his character arc, by the end of the series, I didn't hate him as much. I think my most hated character in Naruto is fucking Black Zetsu. Scumbag bitch. Hiding in Kaguya's sleeve the whole time. And when you find out what, the role Zetsu played and everything, and then again, the miserable bitch-like way he went out, yeah, I hate him. Lick says, damn it, Curtis, I just got food. Don't want to stop you from eating, Licks. We were talking about interrupting porn. We don't want to interrupt porn or food. Mistress says, I like Crocodile more than Arlong. Crocodile was a good villain because he almost successfully carried out his plan. And he's not always actually a villain. He got things done and he has style. Arlong failed pretty easily and he dresses like an asshole. That's true. Krusty says, Kabuto is smarmy as hell. Yeah, that's why I always hated him, was that attitude. The most hated character in Naruto is almost unanimously Black Zetsu. Is it? I didn't know that. I know he is for me. Again, by the time we got to the end of Shippuden, I'm like, what a bitch. I mean, to me, sometimes in anime, your death makes you a legend. For instance, one of my favorite characters, whose name, Kisame. Kisame's death is one of the things that cemented his legendary status for me. And other times, your death proves that you are nothing but a worthless little bitch. Black Zetsu. Oh, Big Green says, I thought you were talking about that Michael Jackson looking motherfucker in Demon Slayer. No. No, Big Green. This latest one, like I said, the one that lives in his sister's back there. That's a cool angle. And like I say, when you add in everything, the aesthetics, the voicing in it, he's a good villain. Josh says, Curtis, is it true you and Roshi are cousins? It's possible. Rowan says, Curtis, never forget Danzo. He is the shittiest. He's up there for me, Rowan. He's definitely probably top 4 in villains I hate in Naruto. But yeah, nobody beats Black Zetsu for me. Rick says, Kisame the Shark Boy. Alternatively, the gay chicken Legend of Korra. Good. That's a good call, Big Green. He says, I think Griffith will still be my most hated anime villain. What he did is despicable. Certainly. Oh, man. Berserk is just so freaking brutal. Yikes. I haven't seen Lupin the Third yet, HD. It's been talked about a lot, over the years we've been watching anime, but no, I haven't seen that one yet. Oh, you like Lupin? Do you, Brax? Brax is here today. He said, he said Lupin the Third, he said, is awesome. Oh yeah, I agree with that too, Big Green. He says Danzo also looks fucking gross, all those eyes in his body. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've told you guys that. The eyes in the hand, and then that wasn't bad enough. Danzo's got to have them all up his arm. I don't know why that strikes me as gross as it does. He does. Arthur says MJ makes for an awesome villain, though. There's truth to that. Yeah. Mistress says, I'm one of the few that just didn't like AOT. Are you? Yeah, it's wildly popular, but that's true with anything. Like I've always said about comedy, it's always going to be to taste. Not everything can hit with everybody. Krusty says, oh yeah, body horror bullshit. Yeah. Oh, that was so nasty when he rolls that sleeve up. I'll give you that one. He absolutely was, Envix. He says, I hate Danzo more than Zetsu because he was morally self-righteous. Yes, he was. He was... If it weren't for Kabuto, I think he would have had the most obnoxious personality of anybody in that show. Dwayne Jackson says, Danzo was the cause of almost every character's BS from Itachi to Nagato. Yeah, true. Like I say, absolutely. He's for me, Danzo, I think I hate Black Zetsu more. And a lot of the reason why is at least Danzo was, to me, a more effective villain. I don't know if effective is the word I want. But like I say, I guess he just wasn't, at least Danzo wasn't a complete and total bitch like Black Zetsu. That's what really did it in for me. Big Green says, I don't quite understand the hype of AOT either, but if people like it, who am I to rain on their parade? That's why I am with stuff, Big Green. It's like, especially doing stand-up, you got to come to terms with that. Not everything is going to play positively to everyone, and that's why I look at stuff. If you're enjoying it, good for you. Well, I hope you get to continue enjoying it. Nectar says, favorite character in Naruto is probably Suigetsu. That's interesting. Guy's just chilling the whole time while there are tailed beasts, reincarnations, wars, and other shit. That's true. Ashley says, "What is the best anime opening or ending in your opinion?" Well, it depends on how you look at it, Ashley. I always go to now. I'm not saying it's the best opening song or the best opening sequence, but I think because of the place it holds for me, because I enjoyed the series so much, and it was early on in my anime adventures, it was always Hunter x Hunter. Again, that's not to say it's the best song. I like it. I have it on my playlist and everything, but it's just for what it meant to me, I think. That's fair. Arthur says Donzo was selfish and evil. Zetsu was a mama's boy. Yep, a complete mama's bitch. Yep. Bleach opening 4, Mistra. Nolan says Shippuden 13. Best opening song is Pokemon, Kyle says. Jesus Christ, Lex. She says, no, people aren't allowed to like things. Aren't allowed to like things. I'm notorious for pissing on parades. That's why they stopped doing Pride over here. We can't do the parade again this year. You know what she's gonna do. Oh, that's awful. The Pokemon theme song slaps. A lot of people love that song. A lot of it gets mentioned all the time whenever we talk about OPs. Oh, does it? That's coming right up for us too. Mr. Croissant says personally, Black Clover has a shit ton of bangers for openings. One Piece opening one is great too, Ivan. I agree. I love that one, especially the visuals in that one. Yeah. Yu Yu Hakusho's opening was great. Rigid Rat. Yep. Yep. Yu Yu is just a legendary anime. Well, before I started watching it, I was telling the gang, because we watched it, it's got to be a few years ago now at the Goose. But before I started watching it, I had said that the most commonplace thing I had heard about Yu Yu was that you can't call yourself an anime fan until you have seen Yu Yu Hakusho. That tells you a lot about people's respect for it. Excuse me. Legionary says, much love from Northern Ireland. Man, love your vids. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. I appreciate that. It's amazing how that region, the UK and surrounding areas, has been such a huge part of this channel since it began. I mean, hell, back in the early days, for whatever reason, we caught on in the UK and again, surrounding regions faster than anywhere else. As a matter of fact, you guys know, you'll see Steve in here every so often. Yeah, his screen name's been with me for 11 years. You think it's gone right on my head. It'll come to me. But Steve's been with us since channel was about 3 months old, and he's our longest continuous member, and he's from the UK. Pornhub opening is the absolute best. Assassin Xization. That's Steve. Prasanna says, it's been a while, Curtis. I got my first injury at Beginners MMA 2 weeks ago. Bruised rib. I found my sparring partner's elbow when we were practicing takedowns. Oh, yeah. Any type of grappling art, bruised ribs are just for that reason, are such a commonplace thing, because falling on elbows, falling on knees, all the time. Mr. Croissant says, your thoughts on the Roe v. Wade overturning? I'm surprised. I really didn't think they would overturn it. As much as I'm pro-life, I don't want to get into politics today, but put it this way, it's another one of those cases which happens to me a lot. I'm pro-life, but don't care for a lot of the people who are pro-life along with me. So I guess I'll leave it at that. Hey, Edgar, good to see you, pal. He says, hey, Curtis, Inuyasha ending themes are up there for me in terms of great ending themes. Anyone else agree? What do you think, guys? Inuyasha? Inuyasha's one, I have to admit, just because of its kind of legendary status, I'm surprised that one hasn't gotten more play. It always gets mentioned in the nominations polls. I'm just surprised it hasn't finished higher yet, just from what I know, again, about its perceived legendary status. Zeno says Spy excuse me. Spy X Family is so wholesome, yeah. So is Love is War. S3, Special Ed is good. OP for Comey Can't Communicate, season 1 is good. Both your Lie in April, yeah. I loved Your Lie in April. That was fantastic. Yeah. I'm really liking that Spy X Family. That was cool that we got 2 episodes of it sponsored this month over at the Goosh. Zeno and Kieran both sponsored an episode. Em says, let's just stick to anime weeb shit. Yeah. I don't like to bring Free for All Fridays down too much. I mean, we can always talk about anything here, but everybody just having such a good time and everything, and politics just makes things sticky. Big Green says, I'm still partial to Fist of the North Star's first opening. I'm pretty sure that song is what put hair on my balls. Nice. Code says, do you think Giannis and the boys can go back-to-back this year? If he wins it this year, I'd put him above LeBron. I'll tell you, Code, if they beat Boston, yes, I think so. I think they match up really well against Miami. And the teams from the West, I've been watching a lot of the playoffs. They haven't impressed me at all. I'd like to see them tie it up tonight because I think it's going to be tough for them if Milwaukee doesn't close it out tonight and they have to go back to Boston. But if they do close it out tonight, yeah, I like their chances to repeat. Big Green says, the only thing that should make things sticky is sticky stuff, you hear? Vin says, Kotoro Lives Alone is a good-hearted anime. It's on Netflix, really worth a watch. It's only 10 episodes. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that one. And Prasanna says, Gundam Seed is not the greatest show, but its music was some of the best you'll hear in anime. That's cool. You know what song really, I told you guys this before, really stuck with me too, and it's not did they play it at the ending? I don't remember. It's not an OP. I don't think it's an ending either. I think they only play it during the episodes, but I could be wrong. I'd have to go back and check. But anyway, is from Jormungand. Her name is Coco She Is Loco. I love that freaking song. There's just something about it. Man, I love that show. Mr. says Mavs versus Bucks in finals, Bucks in 6, and I'm rooting for the Mavs. Thinks the Bucks are playing. Well, they're supposed to get Chris Middleton back either tonight or if there's a Game 7 for Game 7, and that's a huge difference. That gives them as long as he stays healthy, that gives them a lot better chance. Morgan says, do you have a fave and least fave MHA villain? Not offhand, Morgan, and you know how bad my memory is. If I don't have one that I've already, sat down, or favorites that I've already sat down and considered at length, I generally don't give them because I know I'll forget something. So right offhand, no. I mean, my favorite character, unusually in MHA, is a villain because there's nobody better than Toga. So I guess I do. I have a favorite villain. I love Toga. Arthur says, crypto is tanking. Bad timing for me. Yeah, I see. Holy shit, major tanking. God damn. Mr. Croissant says, just something I'd like to say. People sleep on Big Mom's strength, but she likely became an Emperor of the Sea while pregnant. She was fighting monsters like Whitebeard while knocked up. What if he true? Yeah, because as near as I can tell, if we do the number of kids and the timeline of age and everything, she had to be knocked up pretty much all the time, right? Chrome says, we talking good anime openings? Yes. My Next Life as a Villainess and Urusei Yatsura have great ones. Really? Urusei Yatsura I've heard of. The other one I hadn't. Morgan says, yes, Toga is my favorite villain along with Twice. Yeah, Twice is a good villain too. Yeah, but Toga is my favorite character in the whole show. I just, well, you guys don't like that. I like that anyway. I like the crazy bitches. and she is that, but it's just the way she goes about her business too, with that look in her eye and the knife in her hand. That's just cool to me. Excuse me. Alex says, and yet brands keep trying to get into it. Now you see that they're making Bean NFTs. Oh, really? Mr. Bean NFTs? No. What I did just see, though, I don't know if you guys saw it. Madonna at 63 years old is making an NFT, and it's a video of a tree sprouting and growing from her vagina. If you guys want to go search it, more power to you. I am so sad that I did. Edgar says, hey Curtis, there's fan-made manga on YouTube by Call Me ARJ, which is the gods locking away Vegito for 10 years. I need to put you on it on Gush 100 if you haven't seen it. Best fan-made content I've ever seen. Really? Wish I had skills like that. That must be so much fun. Yeah, I mean, well, we know. I mean, there's been so much fan-made stuff over the years that's been phenomenal if they can keep it on there, even though, because that clearly falls into fair use, but we know what the Japanese companies are like. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. I haven't heard of that YouTuber either, Edgar. I like stuff like that. I love stuff like that the fans make. Zeozu says, I'm new to the Goose, trying to catch up on some of the anime we both watched. I'm doing Bleach when Grimjaw Jabberjack is defeated, the best Espada. Boy, Bleach was really good. Well, Bleach is legendary. I guess I shouldn't be surprised by that. But yeah, I enjoyed Bleach a lot. Yeah. Bleach has everything about Bleach was done well. I got it. That was always one of my favorite ones for the fights too. Fights are so good. I love Kenny. But man, I'll tell you, this current season I'm watching of Demon Slayer, those fights don't take a background to anybody. Those are good. Morgan says, Toga's so fun and deliciously crazy. Couldn't agree more. That I can forgive her for stabbing my new anime husband. Yeah, yeah, I get you, Morgan. Sometimes a character can be cool enough that we're willing to look the other way on occasion with some of the things they do. Josh said, what would be the name of Shikamaru's car? The Drag Mobile. Kyle says, favorite weird Al Yankovic parody? Oh, jeez. Guess back in the day I always liked Fat, the one he did on Bad. Maybe because I'm fat. I don't know why, but I always thought that one was pretty cool. Boku no Pico reaction, Ziozu says. I'm surprised that hasn't done well on a poll yet. Thomas says, is Brax going with you to North Carolina or is he staying in New York? Well, a little bit of both. His girlfriend got a job in Owego, New York, which is a little over 2 hours southwest of here. So they're going to go down there, and they're hoping to end up with us, though, in North Carolina eventually. Dementia Master says, I was kind of surprised that Parasite never made it to the bowl, so I was happy to sponsor it. I was, too. Now, having seen so much of Parasite, that's a really, really good show, Dementia Master. Really appreciate your sponsoring that one. Miggy is one of my favorite anime characters. How can he not be? He's a frustrating one too, just because of his sometimes very untimely need for naps. I love Miggy though. Kyle says, thoughts on Rhea Ripley joining Edge and Damian Priest?
Good.
Brax likes it. He likes it. I love Rhea Ripley. Love her. I don't know. Edge hasn't impressed me as much recently as he used to.
I mean, yeah, he's old.
Yeah, and he just... So as far as my thoughts on Rhea Ripley individually, I love her. We'll see how that, we'll see how that plays out. In fairness, I wasn't sure about RK Bro when they started it, but it ended up being awesome, so...
I think it's good. I like the
direction
the group is going. I think it was nice to have Damian Priest.
Damian Priest is a hell of a worker.
Yeah.
Hell of a wrestler.
And his title run was okay. Then he turned heel, which is now good that he's in this group because it gives him like purpose again. Right.
And it gives him a reason to keep him out there on screen. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It may work. Maybe that's why, because I like Rhea Ripley so much, I get tentative about what they might do with her. I don't want them to do something that'll bury her, but Lick says, how'd you get out of the attic?
I don't know. That just appear places there.
No, that's not right, though. We keep them under the sink, not in the attic.
Oh, yeah.
Wild Brax has appeared, Wolverine says. Hydra says, hey, Curtis, can't wait for Bleach's return. Going to be a bloodbath, and I'm here for it. Best thing about it, no censorship. Bring on the bloodshed. Yeah. That and Chrome just private messaged me over at the Gooch the other day the link to the new Mob Psycho 100 trailer for the new season. I fucking love Mob Psycho 100. That one always surprised me because typically that whole ESP thing and everything is not something I'm all that into, but it just goes to show that with good writing and good characters, doesn't matter what the subject matter is, it can hook you, because that's one of my favorites is Mob Psycho 100. Big Green says, that's a shame because Edge is cool. I agree. I can't even really, Big Green, put my finger on why I'm not as impressed with him as I used to be. It's not, I don't think it's, he's gotten older, but I don't think it's the physical nature of it. I don't know. It's been just harder for me to get into his character this time around. Hey, Philip. He says, I told my dad I was in a stream. He told me, well, keep your head up. Nah, I like it. Now, that's a quality dad joke right there. That's a quality one. Prasanna says, Mob Psycho has such a unique atmosphere. True. Absolutely true. Yeah. That one really, really hooked me in. Mob's such a great character, too. Really is. Vin says it would be awesome next time you pass to Winston-Salem would be brilliant because I would love to meet. Yeah, Winston-Salem's not far from us. I think, what are you guys, probably, excuse me, an hour maybe? If maybe not even that. Because Winston-Salem, I believe, is just, we're going to be in Denver, North Carolina, is just to our northeast. Big Green says, yeah, some wrestlers can still make it work despite age, but that doesn't mean everyone can, unfortunately. No. We've, as you said, unfortunately, we've seen some pretty strong indicators recently of those who can't, Goldberg. James says, I don't watch much WWE, but Edge is always great, or at least good, no matter what he does. No, he is. And he's, like I say, it's not physical. He can still work a match. I just, again, I think it's just a personal preference thing. I just haven't gotten into his character as much since he came back as I did, in his initial run. Oh, Helsing's so good, Poppy. I love Helsing. Well, Sarah's Victoria. Nothing more need be said. Yeah, it is a shame, Big Green says, which is also a shame because I also like Goldberg. Yeah, I did too. And he really does. I mean, he's proven it over and over now. He needs to stop working. It's just.
Who does?
Goldberg.
I mean, in my opinion, I think his last match against Bobby Lashley, that was good.
Right.
Stop.
Right.
But then
Exactly.
he fought Roman. And then, well, in his fairness, there was a huge botch during the match. I don't know if you followed it.
Yes, I did.
Grabbed the rope.
Yeah.
The ref didn't count it.
Yep.
That's on the ref. The match
It is.
definitely could have gone longer
But
or something.
You got to remember the thing too is Goldberg was never a top shelf worker. He was a monster.
Yeah.
So when you get older and you can't pull off the monster thing as convincingly, and you weren't that good a worker, Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior was a drizzling shits as a worker. But he got so over because he was, a monster and he had that look and that strength. But if you take that away, like during the steroid era, when he couldn't juice, it ain't good. Pizza Man says, did you see the controversy with Jim Ryan, CEO of PlayStation? I did. Honestly, don't understand all the hate, but he's got the Twitter mob after him. I don't understand it because all he said was, let's not talk about it. I mean, I don't understand all the hate when you got somebody saying, please just respect everybody else's opinion. He didn't take a stance, but again, it's Twitter mobs. That's why they hate him, because he wouldn't take their stance. He didn't take an opposing stance. He just said, I'd rather, everyone is respectful while on work hours, everyone is respectful to one another. It's real, it's real edgy stuff. real controversial shit to say. Big Green says, "Oh, good correction. My favorite bald man wrestler is still Stone Cold. Or I mean Curtis Candy, but Goldberg is cool too." I just found I was showing some to my granddaughter the other day. We're starting excuse me guys, I got a gas bubble, terrible. We're starting to clean up the house, starting to pick stuff up and so we can get ready to move, and I found a bunch of old wrestling pictures that I hadn't seen in ages. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, it's terrible. Big Green.
Where did you put the title belt?
I put it in that box we're packing for you.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Big Green says, "Oh God, yeah, yes I do. Remember when Warrior wore that stupid bodysuit with muscles printed on it? Yes, that was it. When they were in the when McMahon was getting heat for the steroid usage, and everybody had to cut it back. Yeah, and then he wore that stupid suit. And again, all he had going for him was he had that physique and that strength because he couldn't work worth a shit." Rigid Rat says even the devil is scared of Twitter. That's why he resides in hell. Oh, it's terrible, Big Green. I don't know what it is. I just had like I say, I've been, eating properly again and stuff. So I didn't eat anything out of the ordinary today. But you ever get that where you got like a gas bubble right here lodged in your chest and it won't move? No heartburn. I can feel it. It's just like a bubble right there. Josh says, "Did Brax own any of the new Xboxes or PlayStations?" No, we haven't bought either of the next-gen systems yet, just because we generally play almost strictly on PC. Kyle says, "Favorite Little Debbie cake?" For me, Swiss rolls, probably. Oof. Brax grew up loving cosmic brownies. That was his go-to from the time he was a little kid. He loved those cosmic brownies. For me, it's those Swiss cake rolls. Those things are freaking good. Yeah, they're fat guy's delight. Yeah, it is weird, Big Green. Like I said, it just came upon me as we're chatting here. I can too, Oink, but not. I can't do anything about this one because of where it's sitting. It's like right up in here. The crunchy chocolate cookies from Little Debbie. Oh, Little Debbie. Little Debbie's got to be responsible for more obesity and diabetes in this country than any other individual. She's a bitch. Mr. Croissant says, "I love the glow gimmick." Yep. But Naomi was an insanely good heel, and she's got phenomenal potential as a women's champion. I agree with all that. I love Ronda and Charlotte, but Naomi with the bloodline as champion is money. Yeah, Naomi. Well, I'll tell you, that women's division is loaded with really exceptionally good workers. Vermillion says, hashtag cancel Little Debbie. Excuse me. That's terrible. Big Green says, at least Debbie won't be your demise. Pretty sure Red Meat beats her. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think anything could come back and take over for the Red Meat being the official cause of death. Yeah, it's got too much of a lead now. James says, I kind of love the baddies. Oh, they are, Vin. Vin says Swiss rolls are fucking legendary, though. They are. They're so freaking good. It's ridiculous how good they are. Oh. Nutty Buddies best? I don't mind Nutty Buddies. They're good. Edgar says, remembering when Brock Lesnar was fresh and was destroying everyone, and then Goldberg came in for a feud and jackhammered him, I'm like, this feud would be epic. Then I got cut short. Yeah, that would have been epic. The big difference there, for my opinions, Brock can work the shit out of a match. I know a lot of people don't like him because he's a part-timer or he doesn't. or he's just in it for the money because he'll admit that he is. I just think he's wildly entertaining. He works his ass off in everything they ask him to do. You can't take that away from him. And I just love watching him. It's Free for All Friday now with extra burps. Indeed, it is, Big Green. Philip says they say eating too much red meat is bad for you. What a load of barf. My father ate it every day, and he lived to the ripe old age of 38. Proof positive. The medical community does not always know what they're talking about. Vermilion says Andre the Giant versus Big Show in a fight. Oh, remember, you guys may not remember when Big Show, who was Stream Boss? Oh, Morgan is cool. When Big Show first came onto the scene, they tried the angle of booking him as Andre the Giant's son. James says Brock is one of the best ever. Great worker. Even Bryan Danielson said he's the best. He is. He's a legit legend. I mean, every element of it, whether, and like a lot of monsters, I should say, unlike a lot of monsters, he has no problem putting shine on other people. Brock will work his ass off to make his opponent look good if that's what's best for the storytelling, and that's why I have huge respect for him. Yeah. Rizko says the golden era has ended when Mark Calloway retired. Oh, really? Kyle says the Little Debbie company is worth $12.9 billion. Worth every penny. Yeah, they did. Big Green says he was just called the Giant, wasn't he? It was a super generic name for a wrestler that's really tall. Absolutely. That was one of the most uninspired namings I've seen in wrestling. But for a time, they were trying to book him as Andre the Giant's son. And it's like, man, people weren't buying that. Okay, Poppy, thanks for being in while you could. Morgan says, man, I try and eat healthy, and then I'm like, this is terrible. Now I'm just like, I might as well enjoy what I eat and just live. Yeah, and by eating healthy, Morgan, for me, it's more portion control than anything else. I mean, I eat a lot of, there's not that many things I actually eat that are actually decent for me. I like grilled chicken sandwiches. I love turkey, stuff like that. But aside from that, I just try and keep the portions, excuse me, I got hiccups too, reasonable. Lick says I just don't eat. About moderation, I agree, Vermilion. I agree. Right, Big Green. He says at least add a name to it. Andre the Giant's son. The Giant. Okay. Yeah. It was entirely uninspired booking, to say the very least. Repugnant Tone says the Boogie Woogie Man. Yeah, Jimmy Valiant. I remember he looked like a member of ZZ Top. He'd come out dancing and jumping, then before you knew it, the match was done. Yep, that was Jimmy Valiant. Him and his brother Johnny were among the top tag teams of the 70s. Had some great matches back in the old WWF. Fighting Tony Gurria and Dean Ho and Haystacks Calhoun and Chief J Strongbow and all those guys. You have do you have an eating disorder? Oh, Licks, that's tough. That's tough. It can be dangerous too. Well, I don't tell you that. I'm sure you know. Kyle says I love Andre the Giant, the Princess Bride. Me too. He was a lot of fun in that. And whenever you read insider stuff and everything, they say everybody on the set just loved him. Said he was just a big giant teddy bear that everybody loved. Rigid Rat said I was a big fan of Sting growing up. The wrestler, not the band. Yeah, Sting's phenomenal. A lot of people don't remember he got his early pop in a tag team with the Ultimate Warrior. They were called the Blade Runners. Yeah, that's really rough. A severe eating disorder can be life threatening. Have I been to Mary Lou's, Kyle? I don't think so. I don't know what Mary Lou's would be, if it's a restaurant or what it would be along those lines. All right, guys. Well, we'll have to pack it up for today. This was a great stream. This was a really, really fun stream. Wow, they always are on Free for All Fridays. Thank you guys for hanging in with me. Thank you for not being too put off by the fact that the bubble in my chest almost exploded. We almost had an alien moment there, where something just came out. That would have been kind of a cool way to go out too. Curtis Candy is the best. So thanks, James. But guys, yeah, thank you for hanging in with me. Thanks for making my day, making the end of the week so much fun. I appreciate it a lot. I just have such a good time with these. And again, as we keep going, hopefully we'll get to where we can do more streams during the week again, especially as I start to get ahead of things for the move and all. But you guys made this such a blast. Thanks again for hanging out with me. And I certainly, whether we get to stream between now and next Friday or not, I'll be seeing you guys around the channel and around the goose. So we'll be hanging out together. But for now, we know what the important part is. It's the Free for All Friday sticky stuff. And anybody, we can talk about all the candy we want. We can talk about all the red meat that we want. Doesn't matter. We can even talk about all the porn that we want. Nothing, we know, nothing is superior to Free for All Friday sticky stuff. It is what makes life worth living. Did I sell that? Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Pampu, pampu. Sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you in the back, sticky stuff for you in the front, because we'll bang, okay? Flashly like Buggy. And as always, most importantly, and oh, does it shimmer and shine. Goosh, 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 goosh.